knives catching the first light, my boots crunching through the cold, coffee scalding my tongue, and then, thwack, metal stapling into wood so hard it echoed inside my skull, an orange violation. Notice hammered to my workshop door like someone had just nailed my soul to a cross, the paper flapping in the wind like a surrender flag I never asked to wave, bold black letters screaming 72 hours. TO cell or $500 daily fines. And my crime? Parking my 97 Chevy Silverado, the same truck Laura used to lean against while I rebuilt carburetors under the garage light, her laughter spilling over. The engine noise as she wiped grease from my cheek with her jasmine-scented thumb. The same truck that carried her home from the hospital the day chemo stole her hair and half her fight. The same truck that still smells faintly of her jasmine soap, motor oil, and the ghost of her voice whispering, "Don't you dare let them take this, Nate." I'm Nate Callahan, 52, hands cracked and permanently stained with engine grease, heart still cracked open 3 years after cancer stole my wife. And that orange notice? It wasn't paper. It was a blade. It was a declaration of war. It was someone telling me I didn't belong in the home we built together, the home where she died in my arms, whispering, "Fix what matters, Nate." I stood there, frozen, coffee dripping onto my boot, the world narrowing to that orange sheet, the words blurring as my pulse thundered in my ears. And for a moment I was back in the hospital room, Laura's hand cold in mine, her eyes locked on. Chestnut then, her eyes sparkling with that mischief that made me fall in love with her at 18. So we gutted the garage together, her painting the sign in looping cursive, fixing what matters since. Don't let them take this, Nate. I could still smell her jasmine soap some mornings, mixed with the sharp bite of motor oil, the scent wrapping around me like her arms used to, and I'd stand there, wrench in hand, pretending she was just in the garden, just out of sight, humming while she planted heirloom tomatoes that grew sweeter than any store-bought lie, and I'd talk to her out loud, like a crazy old man. "You seeing this, Laura? They want to take our home." And the silence would answer, but it felt like she was listening. "Welcome to Cedar Hollow, 2010. Once, his voice gruff but kind, where Ms. Delgado ran her daycare with love and second-hand toys, her smile tired but unbreakable. Then the McMansions sprouted like tumors, beige monuments, swallowing sunsets, and in marched Evelyn Hargrove, ex-corporate compliance bloodhound turned suburban dictator, moving into the biggest house on the block, a beige fortress that blocked half the sky, campaigning for HOA president with flyers that might as well have said, "No trucks, no poor people, no memories," her smile sharp as a scalpel, her eyes cold as the measuring tape she carried. Like a weapon, she won by 3 votes out of 12. Democracy, folks. The harassment started soft, friendly suggestions about my truck's parking angle, her measuring my grass with a ruler in spotless white sneakers, standing there like a suburban coroner, her perfume cutting through the morning air like chemical warfare, then city complaints, noise ordinances for my Saturday projects. Grease up to my wrists when the phone would ring. "Mr. Callahan, we've received reports of unsafe business practices," and I'd feel the panic rise like bile, my chest tightening, because every call was a reminder that I was one bad month away from losing everything, from losing Laura all over again. One dawn I catch her at 6:47 a.m., heels clicking across my driveway like a metronome, counting down to my execution, photographing my truck with the dedication of a crime scene tech, the flash of her camera cutting through the pre-dawn gloom. "Morning, Evelyn." I call coffee. Sloshing, asterisk, documenting my felony door ding again. Asterisk, she doesn't blink. Ensuring community excellence, Mr. Callahan. Translation, erase every trace of working-class life. Erase Laura, erase me. I'm on a fixed income, every dollar a fight. But this shop, Laura's memory, 15 years of fixing neighbors' lives for what they could afford, I won't let some transplant with a measuring tape bulldoze it. See, I fix broken things, engines, marriages, neighbor disputes, and sometimes the most broken thing isn't the rusty truck. It's the person trying to fix everyone else. 3 weeks later, expensive heels click across my concrete like a guillotine. Evelyn flanked by a nervous polo shirt photographer from Hargrove Property Solutions. "Mr. Callahan." Wrench. Unauthorized commercial signage, improper vehicle storage, operation of a business in violation of residential restrictions, she declares, and I laugh. Actually laugh, because the signs. Been there since Laura painted it in 2009. Her cursive still perfect, her love still bleeding through the letters, and I can almost hear her voice. Nate, don't let them touch my sign. That's when Mr. Ramsey, 78, retired courthouse clerk, shuffles over, eyes twinkling with 40 years of bureaucratic mischief, his weathered face creasing into a knowing grin. Revised. Covenants, you say? Funny, I filed the originals in '88, no such rules. The photographer bolts, his engine starting like a small victory bell. Evelyn hisses, this isn't over, her professional mask. Baby, I'm a fortress. But the certified letter comes anyway, 72 hours or fines, signed by Evelyn's husband, Victor, whose consulting business runs from their converted garage, irony thick enough to choke on, his signage bigger than mine, clients streaming in like it's a Starbucks, his voicemail. I'll get back when I'm not helping my wife with neighborhood improvement projects. And I laugh until I cry, the sound echoing in the empty house where Laura's laughter used to live. Then the phone calls, insurance, bank, IRS, all concerns about my unsafe shop. Each one a gut punch, my hands shaking over coffee, the sick feeling in my stomach mixing with the familiar scent of motor oil and sawdust, but Laura's voice in my head. Keep walking through hell. Cracked pan, her measuring tape stopping mid-extension. We count 9 grandfathered home businesses, piano teachers, dog groomers, none targeted but me. The single mom Ms. Delgado with the daycare. The veteran Mr. Vargas fixing bikes, all older trucks, all working class, all here before Evelyn. Public records reveal the Cedar Hollow HOA never incorporated, pure fraud, yet Ms. Delgado already. Scraping sound they must have made in the night, sending shivers down my spine. Then 3 terrifying letters, license suspension, tax reassessment, zoning hearing, all fake, all felonies. Ramsey confirms with phone calls. Deputy Sanchez shows up, pattern of false reports, DA's interested. That night, Evelyn corners me by my mailbox, the October wind carrying the scent of dying. Leaves and her expensive perfume. A sickly sweet combination that makes my stomach turn. Laura never updated the deed after you got married. Technicalities can tie you up for years. Mentioning my wife's name like a blade. And something in me snaps cold. You just declared war on the wrong widow, Evelyn. Saturday, Ramsey bursts in, manila folder trembling, bank statements. Operating a fraudulent entity. The original covenant encourages small home businesses, Laura's dream legally bulletproof since 1988. My workshop becomes war room. Mrs. Ellison confesses tearfully, her hands shaking as she clutches a crumpled envelope, her voice barely above a whisper. I paid while my husband was dying. Her daughter Clara, law student, calls it RICO. Reporter Lila Grant. Smells regional scandal. Ramsey maps demographics. Every target under $50,000 income. Deputy Sanchez wants me wired. Bait for justice. I look at Laura's gloves. Let's end this. Wednesday. Wire cold against my chest like a snake. I walk to Evelyn's museum-perfect house. The morning air thick with burning leaves and adrenaline. My heart hammering against the recording device taped to my ribs, each step heavier than the last. The crunch of gravel under my boots sounding like bones breaking. She answers in a silk robe, eyes bloodshot, offers coffee with shaking hands. Her voice too calm. This is unexpected, Nate. Inside, the house is a shrine to suburban perfection. Everything beige and lifeless. Nothing touched by human hands. Nothing real. I list the stolen money. Mrs. Ellison's $450, Ms. Delgado's $300, Mr. Vargas's $200, and Evelyn defends it. Undesirable elements lowering standards, her voice rising. People like you, Nate. Grease monkeys who don't belong. Then she threatens my license. By tomorrow, your shop is shut down permanently. All on tape, her voice dripping venom, pure gold. Thursday, my shop sealed. The world tilting again. The shop silent except for the tick of Laura's old wall clock. Vandalism hits like a sledgehammer. Mrs. Ellison's garage spray-painted, traitor, in dripping red, a mess. Delgado's tires slashed, all 4, Mr. Vargas's gas tank sugared. Dark SUV at 2 a.m. No plates. Driver in a baseball cap and sunglasses. The crunch of gravel under tires. The hiss of spray paint. The smell of sugar and gasoline. Lila uncovers Evelyn's decade-long predation. Portland, Phoenix, Boise. Hired vandals. Fake complaints. FBI file closed for lack of evidence. Until now. Packed to the rafters. Evelyn in a Navy power suit. Still spinning. Clara projects the timeline. For states. Dozens displaced. Mrs. Ellison stands. Voice shaking but unbroken. Asterisk asterisk I paid while my husband died. Crowd roars. Evelyn screams slum. Grease monkeys. I project her text. I'll burn your shop before I let you win. Handcuffs click. Victor confirms the business plan. Applause like thunder. 6 months later, crisp Saturday morning. Shop open. New sign Callahan's revival. Community supported since 2009. Mrs. Ellison brings cookies and a $1,350 restitution. Delivers FBI letter. 300 families saved. National Hargrove Registry launched. Vacant lot where Evelyn planned her palace, now the Laura Callahan Memorial Garden. Raised beds feeding food banks. Tomato vines in the air, Laura's gloves swaying, and I know she's smiling. We turned terror into triumph. Fear into movement. One stubborn mechanic refusing to sell. Evelyn faces federal RICO. Victor flipped state's evidence. Every penny returned. Every predator tracked. So here's the question burning hotter than any engine I've rebuilt. When a system lets predators wear the mask of community standards to steal homes from widows, veterans, single moms, is silence compliance? When justice finally arrives fashionably late, handcuffs gleaming under council lights. Bell, next week the teacher who sued the school board and won child custody for an entire graduating class. Remember, bullies bank on your silence. Don't give them the satisfaction.